year.WCS. We have scientists and eco guards working in the field and zookeepers working right here at home.
So let's show again in Asia. Oh, she came to Asia after a while.
No, it's not the same one we came.
You probably have to get tickets. Shoma's heading back to Asia. She's gonna go to the monorail. Bamboo forest. Heading to the monorail. Yeah. So we're passing Jungle World, and then that's the Bengali Express monorail.
No waiting.
Oh, thank you. Hello. Oh, looks like there was no waiting. Yay! Oh. Oh, there is a line. Hello.
Once again, my name is Hank. I've been your tufted tour guide on behalf of the Bronx Zoo.
So this is us in the monorail. There's like multiple seating, and we're taking the bottom.
Cameras and phones, hooves and antlers inside the train. Here at the Bronx Zoo, we are the headquarters of the Wildlife Conservation Society, or WCS. We have scientists and eco guards working in the field and zookeepers working right here at home to protect animals all over the world. I will point out animals as we approach them, but I'll need your help. Scientists and zookeepers need excellent observation skills to learn about animals' behaviors to ensure their health. Think about what an animal is doing and what your observations might mean. We have now traveled over 7,000 miles and arrived in Asia. This first area here is called the Kha Meadow. We got 3 types of deer and 1 type of antelope in this meadow. They are all up to our left right now under those trees, but don't worry, we'll pass that end of the meadow later on in the tour, and I will slow the train down and try to talk fast and point everybody out to you. In the meantime, we saw the peafowl there. The peafowl, you'll see them all over the zoo. The males are the blue ones with the brightly colored feathers. They're the peacocks. The females are the brown ones. They're the peahens. They get together, they make some pea chicks. I saw a peahen leading some pea chicks through the park just yesterday. They do have the full run of the park. You'll see them on the pass. We'll see them in the exhibits. And occasionally, we will even see them on our monorail tracks. Then I have to play chicken with a peafowl. Peafowl, the national bird of India. Now we all know that a species that is extinct no longer exists, like the dodo or the dinosaur. The next animal we're going to see was on the verge of extinction. In fact, the Mongolian wild horse, or Perishvalsky's horse, was extinct in nature, meaning it could only be found in zoos. Recently, there have been some reintroductions of the Mongolian wild horse to areas of China and Mongolia, from zoos right here in North America and Asian zoos. And as we come into the area, the horses are to the right of the train. We'll catch up with them in just a second. You might notice some differences between these horses and the domestic horses you're used to seeing. They got a stockier build, shorter legs. And check out that mane. They got that erect mane. It kind of looks like a mohawk. I guess you could say they're genetically awesome. Now keep your eyes peeled. There's a couple of foals. This one right in front of the train here, that's the male. He's a colt. And in the back there against the tree rubbing her neck, that's our filly foal. That's a little baby girl. And I'm going to hand it off to one of our scientists, Jonathan, with more about the Mongolian wild horse.
I'm Jonathan Slatt, and I'm the Russia and Northeast Asia coordinator for the Wildlife Conservation Society. I believe that wildlife has a place on this earth. My job is to find practical solutions that allow people and wildlife to thrive together. There's Rybowski's horse went extinct in the wild in the 1960s. On a recent trip to Kazakhstan, I thought about the ongoing and successful efforts in that country to bring these horses back to the Central Asian steppe. The world needs happy stories, to watch the impossible become possible, and to see hope restored. That's what's happening today in Rybowski's horse.
We got our first animals here at the Bronx Zoo in 1902, and to date, we've had over 50 Mongolian wild horse foals born right here at the Bronx Zoo. Now this area we're still passing right now, this is still Mongolian wild horse territory. As we saw in the Kha Meadow, we'll see in our next exhibit, we give our animals a lot of room to move around in, and believe me, they do use every inch of it. Usually the Mongolian wild horses will start their day up here at the top of the hill and work their way down to where we saw them as the day progresses. Now we'll have no problem whatsoever spotting our next animal, as they are the world's largest wild cattle. We're talking about our Gaur, that's G-A-U-R, Gaur, also known as Indian bison. Male Gaur can weigh up to 2,000 pounds, that's as much as a small car. He can stand up to 6 feet tall and be up to 10 feet long. With his impressive size and sharp horns, a male Gaur can fight off just about anything, even a tiger. Gaur were highlighted on season 3 of the zoo on Animal Planet. Before I hand it off to our keeper Dave with more, he's going to mention the offspring. There are a couple of calves in the crowd. You'll see them. They are definitely smaller. I see a couple right there in the middle, closer to the fence. Now here's our keeper Dave with more about the Gaur.
Hi, I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave.
A wild animal keeper here in Wild Asia. When the Bronx Zoo received 2 female and 1 male Gaur from the San Diego Zoo, it took a couple of introductions before all the animals were comfortable. But after a little bit of time, the 3 new animals
It's color like all the way at the back.
to the herd, and we have the family that you see today.
Oh, wow.
A
That's a big
family
car.
group of Gaur can consist of up to 40 individuals and is typically led by an older adult female called the matriarch. Since the 2 females and 1 male have been added to this family, there have been a number of offspring. This is important because Gaur are considered to be a vulnerable species, so it's vital to maintain a healthy growing herd here at the zoo.
Interesting note about the Gaur, if you've ever seen a can of Red Bull, that's 2 Gaur butting their heads together on that can of Red Bull.
Oh, nice.
Now practicing our scientific observation skills, you may be noticing a noise coming from a concrete jungle rather than an Asian one. It's easy to forget that the Bronx Zoo exists in the heart of an urban environment, but that noise you hear behind the train right now is traffic on the Bronx River Parkway. This large fence opposite the train was put up to block the noise of the traffic for the animals.
And that's the fence that was put up to block the noise.
And as we approach the end of the fence and come around this curve, I want to remind everybody, please remain seated. This would be an inconvenient enclosure to fall into, as we are now on the lookout for a tiger. Tiger stripes provide excellent camouflage, so they're often difficult to spot. I believe he's right here at the base of this tree to the right of the train, in front of the bush, right in front of his pool here.
Do you see it?
And that is Anakin, our male aboard tiger. He's right in front of the train. Very good treat for us today. We have 2 types of tigers here at the Bronx Zoo, Malayan and Amur. Amur is the larger of the 2 species, also known
look there.
as Siberian
Right
tiger.
there. By the base of
Tigers
the
are a
tree.
solitary animal, live alone in the wild, which is why you'll
I
only
still
see
won't see
one
it.
Right there, he's gonna see it
exhibit at a time. He's got the whole area to himself, and that's just the way he likes it. Tigers hunt a variety of different animals. They prefer medium-sized deer and wild
What is he
boar.
doing?
Eating something.
A tiger will gorge itself on a fresh kill. Please sit down in the back, guys. I just said you don't want to fall into this. The tiger will gorge itself on a fresh kill, eating up to 40 pounds of fresh meat at one time. That's the equivalent of 160 hamburgers. After a meal of that size, the tiger will usually not eat again for several days. You can see more tigers here at the Bronx Zoo by visiting Tiger Mountain. As we leave Anakin behind, you can take a look at the top of this hill here. This is the back of the Gaur exhibit. There's a couple up there. You might be able to catch a view of them. But as we clear this tree line, we're in the upper half of that Kha Meadow, that area we first came into. And as I thought, everybody is up here. Slow us down and try to point everybody out. The brown deer here to the left, those are Babirusa deer, also known as swamp deer, because they like to hang out in the swamps of India. The spotted deer we see, those are axis deer. Most deer start their lives in spots, and then they fade as they age. The axis deer will keep in spots for the entirety of its life. Those small light brown animals with the white stomach, and this one right here, the darker brown one with the white stomach, those are black buck antelope. The darker brown one is the male. Male and female black buck are sexually dimorphic, meaning they appear differently from each other. And then there's some lighter colored deer there, larger deer. Those are Bactrian deer. Bactrian deer are a subspecies of red deer, although as you can see, they are not red. They're kind of that pale gray golden color. Bactrian deer were thought to be extinct in the wild, but recently a WCS researcher was able to confirm that Bactrian deer do still exist in the wild in Afghanistan after not being seen for nearly 40 years. Now the next animal we're going to see blends in well with the muddy area he calls home. If you see something that looks like a pig with two tusks coming up out of his nose and pointing back towards its eyes, you found our Babirusa. The fact that those tusks resemble deer antlers earned this pig its name. Babirusa means deer pig in the Malay language. And in this first area behind the bamboo, we have two females. They're a little smaller than the males, and they don't have those tusks. And in this second area here, I believe we have Kenneth today. He's one of our males, and he does have an impressive set of tusks.
All right, so let's look for Kenneth.
He does like to be elusive, though. Babirusa hail from the Indonesian island of Sulawesi. Don't worry about it if you are not able to spot our Babirusa, because you will have no problem whatsoever spotting our next animal.
Look there.
As she is the world's largest land mammal. I'm talking about our Asian elephant, and it's Patty today. Patty's in the right back here by the fence in the second area. We'll get a little closer to her as we get move further into the area. Asian elephants can weigh up to 10,000 pounds. To maintain that kind of weight, they gotta eat a lot of vegetation. Patty can eat up to 200 pounds of hay each day and drink up to 60 gallons of water. Now take a good look at her trunk if you can. And Patty's trunk's got 40,000 muscles in it, and it's an incredible tool. She also has a small finger-like attachment at the end of her trunk. With that finger-like attachment, she can gently pick up a single blade of grass or an apple, or she can use all 40,000 of those muscles to pull down a tree branch with enormous force. We pamper our elephants here at the Bronx Zoo. They get baths and pedicures, and that large tree to the left side of their pool is their elephant-sized back scratcher. Have a nice day, Patty. And as we say goodbye to Patty, we're going to be on the lookout for another large mammal. This animal has skin that looks like armor plates, has a single horn on the front of its nose, and weighs around 3,500 pounds. I'm talking about our greater one-horned rhinoceros. And today we have Kali. She's sitting right here in the mud wallow in front of the train.
Kali.
Good morning, Kali. I love your ears. Today we know all rhinos are highly endangered. Recent estimations have the number around 3,700 wild one-horned rhinoceroses that survive in India and Nepal. Here at the Bronx Zoo, we care for 5 greater endangered one-horned rhinoceroses. Now, caring for this very rare animal is one thing, but breeding is entirely another. We got any moms on the train today? Think about this, moms. A female rhinoceros is pregnant for 16 months. Could you imagine being pregnant for almost a year and a half? Once the rhino baby is born, they'll stay with their mother for up to 2 to 3 years. Weaning may take up to 12 months. We've had 14 baby rhinoceroses born right here at the Bronx Zoo. Many people think a rhino's skin is tough, but it's actually very sensitive and requires protection from the sun and insects. One of a rhino's favorite way to protect its skin is to sit in a wallow like we saw Kali doing. There's another one here at the other end of the exhibit. Since Wild Asia opened in 1977, many rhinos have spent time enlarging this wallow. By stomping around the edges, a rhino can shape and mold the area to its liking. Now here at the Bronx Zoo, we take care of animals like the rhino and the tiger by participating in a cooperative zoo management program called the Species Survival Plan. The name says it all, to plan to help these animals survive. Zoos around the world cooperate to maintain genetically diverse populations of rare and endangered species. We have great events in store this fall. In addition to the family favorite Boo at the Zoo, we have our first ever nighttime pumpkin event, Pumpkin Nights. A half-mile trail of animal-themed illuminated jack-o'-lanterns where you can discover some amazing nocturnal creatures and learn about animal behaviors after dark. 5,000 carved foam pumpkins, photo ops, pumpkin carving demonstrations, games, and treats make for a great way to kick off the Halloween season. And don't forget, Holiday Lights returns in November with new lanterns and even more interactive displays. There's always something new to do at the zoo. Thank you very much. Visit bronxzoo.com to learn more. Now in this area, we're looking for the largest and the largest. We got the largest deer species in Southeast Asia. That's the Sambar deer. The male Sambar deer can stand up to 5 feet tall and weigh up to 650 pounds. And we're also looking for our Nigai antelope. Nigai antelope are the largest antelope in southern Asia. We have an all-female herd of Nigai antelope, and they got some unique markings. Check out their legs. Right above their hooves, they got these stripes on their ankles. It looks like they're wearing striped zebra socks. Let's see if we can't catch a glimpse of our Nigai antelopes. Striped zebra socks. And we'll catch up with everybody just when we come around this hill over here. And as we come around the hill, I can see several of the Sambar deer. There's a male and a couple of females, and I can see our Nigai antelope, and I can absolutely see those striped zebra socks. Looking good today, ladies. And when they're this close to the train, you can actually see they got some stripes on their ears as well. Now, it might be hard to spot our next animal. At less than 40 pounds, the Chinese tufted deer might be easy to miss. You see one standing right there in the corner. That little gray deer, that is a full-grown deer, folks. That's not a baby. That is the Chinese tufted deer. They get their name for the distinct tuft of hair on the top of their head. I see more to the right. I see 2 more up there to the right. I'm getting excited because we didn't see a lot of these guys during the summer. They don't like the warm weather. I see 3 up there. That's amazing. I think they're hanging out saying hi to Patty. Now these beautiful little deer are very rare in zoos outside of China. We're lucky to have them here at the Bronx Zoo, and I feel lucky. We got to see 4 of them. Skunks, weasels, and raccoons. They're not really related to the giant panda.
That's you right there.
They just both happen to eat bamboo. Now you can see more red pandas.
Oh my god.
Here at the Bronx Zoo. You can visit our Himalayan Highlands exhibit just to show.
1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 4.
And as we come around this corner, we're about to be at the highest point of our ride. 35 feet over the Bronx River. Thousands of commuters cross this waterway every day, but underneath their highways and our elevated tracks, the river rushes along, providing a habitat for ducks, turtles, fish, and migrating birds. You can see our tracks that we came over downriver there. And if you look carefully in the water, you might even see the outlines of turtles or fish. Now the rocky terrain in this next area is a perfect environment for our next 2 species. It's our mountain goats. We got our markhor and our Himalayan tar. The markhor right here in front of the train down there on the ground. The male markhor has those long curly horns. He's got a mane of hair around his neck and a chin that kind of resembles your monorail drivers. The female markhor has shorter horns, but they do curl. And you can see a female sitting to the right of the train here with a couple of kids. Those are baby goats. We've had several born this season. Now, all these animals have a pad on the inside of their hoof that give them excellent traction on the rocks, making them excellent rock climbers. They're also excellent jumpers, as they can jump up to 6 feet straight up in the air from a standing position. The Gaur come from Pakistan and Afghanistan.
Notice what she's doing. She's sort of leading with the trunk. Elephants will actually eat up to 200 pounds of food a day, as well as drinking up to 60 gallons of water. Like many of our plant eaters, she likes to eat the dry autumn leaves. Notice how the trunk has sort of a fat bit at the very end and then a thin bit at the very top. That's what elephants will use to sort of pinch together like a thumb and a finger. So she can pick up something as delicate as a pebble or a seed, but that trunk has over 40,000 muscles in it. So if she wanted to, she could tear down an entire small tree with that trunk.